Hi there, everyone. We are going to be talking about today what everyone should know about growing your audience. I'm Laura Chattington. I'm here with Krista Valenti. Hey, Krista.
Hey.
Now, while we make sure the tech is working.
Working.
Yeah, awesome. So, what everyone should know about building their audience. It's kind of like an online marketing thing. And before we get into all of that marketing stuff, I just wanted to show you something that is going to change the way you think about the value you put out there when you're building your audiences, when you're creating your offers. And it's actually called the 4 levels of value. And it's something by a guy called Myron Golden.
Yeah.
And this is actually going to change the way you perceive your value as a coach and as an entrepreneur, right, Krista?
Absolutely.
And it's about, there's so many levels of the levels of value, but it's about kind of where you put your time, where you build your audience, where you grow your market, all of that stuff, and where you focus on your high ticket offers. And we're going to talk about building audiences in the context of high ticket offers, right?
Absolutely.
So the question, Krista, is what is the 4 levels of value?
Yes, Laura.
What are the 4 levels of value? Now, it shows us how society determines what kind of work is value, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to hold on. I'm getting some feedback, and that means that I'm trying to watch myself and record and pitch and speak and all of that stuff. And just make sure it's all switched off, and I will get to the 4 levels of value. Okay, so it's how society determines what kind of work is valuable. And the key here, the takeaway is it's not about working harder, it's about working higher, right? It's not about working harder, it's about working higher. And you're like, what? Like higher? And you'll see why in a sec.
Yeah, and we'll see why. That's what I was going to say. Exactly that, Lord. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's exactly that. Like we're thinking, wow, like it's going to, and you're going to feel it get a little bit personal. But once you make that mental click, oh wow, this is so powerful, so powerful. It's incredible information. Just knowing what these 4 levels of value are and where it is that you sit in that rung could determine what choices you make tomorrow. So it's really good.
Well, talk about like, we want to know what the 4 levels of value are. So Chris is trying to build up the anticipation there. So the 4 levels of value are, now I'm going to draw a picture, and Chris, you're going to have to tell me if you can see, okay? I think we're okay?
Yeah. Oh, hun, we can see the picture. It's your spelling that and your writing. That's important.
Yeah. Okay. So best spelling. The first level of value is called implementation. And I'm going to put it here. Implementation. Okay. And this level of value is people who are using their hands for their work, right? So it's like, I know this because I've had painters and decorators in my house. Painters, decorators, plumbers, electricians, hairdressers, nail people, secretaries, people who are kind of doing entry-level stuff, like, first level stuff, or it might be people who are that they're using their hands and they're using their muscles to earn a living, right? For their value. And it's not that what they do is unnecessary at all. Thank God for the people who sort my hair out. The work they need is very much appreciated by all of us, right? But these people are conditioned to think the harder you work, the better you'll live. And if not now, then definitely like in a few years, in a decade, I just need to keep working harder. It sounds exhausting. I'm exhausted at the thought of working hard for 10 years. Now, is there anyone here who came from a family?
Me. We've lost you there, Laura. Laura, you've just frozen up on us, but until Laura comes back, basically what she was going to say, she'll come back in the room. Is there anyone that knows anybody? My father was a builder. My cousins are nail technicians. Oh my God, beauty therapists, cooks, and that. A lot of hard work. Is anybody here knows somebody like that? Now, what we really want to express that these people are extremely valuable. We absolutely love them. We need them. Absolutely need them moving forward in our everyday life. But what it is that they earned is capped. And we're going to go into that any second now. When Laura jumps back online. Let's see, here we go. Here she is.
Back.
Yes.
Carissa, I've just been talking to myself for like the last half an hour.
I just took over for you, but that's cool.
Awesome. Where did you get to?
I was just reiterating the fact of how important these people are in the implementation level.
Yeah. So they're super important, and it's and they're conditioned to think like the harder I work, the better I'll live, and if not now, in 10 years. And I was just saying how the idea of working for 10 years really hard was exhausting, and then everything went down on my computer. Talk about divine intervention there. And is there anyone like me? Oh, we want to do the best for our children, right? But is there anyone like me who's grown up in a family, and they're like, go to school, work hard, go to college, work hard, go to work hard, work hard. Yeah. And eventually you're going to live your dreams.
Oh God.
That's my family too, right?
Yeah.
And even though these people work hard, what they're making is quite low. And I think it's like minimum wage to like the maximum you can work if you work really hard all the time. And you at this implementation level is like $80,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
So that's implementation. The second level is, talk about dragging out this, we've turned the computer off. Unification.
Now it's written back to front, but that's cool.
Is it?
Yes. That's okay.
My handwriting is bad enough the right way round, so I'm not sure why.
Really neat.
I think that must be a restream thing.
Yes.
But anyway, so it's implementation, unification. That's weird, but let's keep going. This is like, what else is going to go wrong? So at the unification level, it doesn't matter if you can't read the writing or see the picture. At the unification level, this is where people are managing other people, right? They're managing other people. They're unifying teams, and they're delivering services to clients and products, and all of that kind of thing. Now, the people working at this level, at this unification level, are perceived by society as more valuable. But, and I say this from my heart, who here believes or feels or agrees that like managing people is really hard?
It is.
I've managed teams of people, and I always used to think, if only they weren't humans, it'd be so much easier. And here's what unification people believe. This is what unification people believe. They believe the more formal education, that is key to a successful career.
Yeah.
And so they get busy getting degrees, getting certifications, getting masters, getting more degrees, getting professorships, getting more degrees, getting more certifications, getting stripes, getting certifications, getting badges, more degrees.
Yeah. More certifications.
But who here knows someone with a lower degree or no degree that's actually better off in their career making more money, right? Yeah. Now, spending time on unification level is like you're never going to get above like $250,000. Okay, which is, it's not bad, but it's a lot of hassle. Yeah. And most coaches and business owners spend their time doing unification and implementation level stuff, right? They're doing unification and implementation level stuff, and you can work, you can work it out. And you're only going to earn up to $250,000 there. Now, what you want to do is tap into the next level. The next level, the third level of value, and that is called communication. Backwards. Communication. And this is so powerful because the people are using their mouths to create success in their business, right? And they've learned to communicate and create conversations and pitches and being able to sell their offers and connect with people and create audiences and create communities simply by using communication. And that's why you see coaches and entrepreneurs who are doing presentations, speaking at events, running masterclasses, seminars. They're really leveraging their businesses, right? Because communication is perceived by our society as like really valuable. They're the people that stand out. And business owners at this level, the communication level, and this is about building audiences, but business owners building audiences at the communication level, they're earning up to like $100 million. Right? And so that's the place where you want to be working at. Okay, sound good? $100 million. Is that okay with you, Krista?
Oh, absolutely. But even on the way there is fabulous,
On the way there is good too, right? Now, the fourth level of value is called imagination. I love this level too. And this is where people are earning billions, gazillions, right? CEO, business owners. It's like the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musks, for want of a better word. But it's also where you, as a coach, as an entrepreneur, this is where you come up with ideas on what your offers are going to be, how you're going to get people to connect, how you're going to give value to your audience and attract people and connect with them. This is where all the thinking goes on and all the imagination goes on. You can imagine new worlds and services and solutions, imagine new offers. I mean, this is where entrepreneurs seem to work less, yet they're making much more money. They're making more money. They're attracting clients they want to work with. And I think that's the key about audience building, isn't it? And they're building wealth for themselves. So they're not what we call you coach. It's like they're operating at those higher levels. They're operating as pro coaches. And if you take one thing away today, it's about working. It's not about working harder. It's about working higher. Absolutely. And I think when it comes to building audiences and online and everyone gets stuck doing that working harder stuff, right, Krista? Everyone gets stuck there.
We get many coaches, or slow coaches, may I put it, get stuck to the idea or get addicted that everything needs to be slow and hard. And it's very hard to make that shift.
And spend a lot of time slowly building, trying to think, all right, I've got to connect 10 million people to my audience. So that I, therefore I look good and that's my business is successful. And why can't I do that? Because no one's listening to what I've got to say. And
or I'm ready. They try doing this and that, and just wait to be ready. Oh, truth, Laura.
See what I've got to see. I think I've lost my
back.
I'm back. This is not good. Must be London's down, I think. So I was saying that people are like that. They are obsessed with connecting to as many people as they can. I've got to have 10 gazillion likes, 10 gazillion people in my audience. And actually that's rubbish, isn't it? Because actually it's about connection. It's about connection, and it's about, you know, bringing the people that really that attracted to you, to your audience. And I think one of the big problems in the marketing world, those marketing bros that were always like boo-hoo, is that they sell you this idea that you've got to have all this stuff, right, to build your audiences. And I know, Chrissy, you are like, well, I'm as bad as you, right? I'm as bad as you, but perhaps, you know, it's like you get sucked in, don't you? You get sucked in.
It was shiny object. Because I wasn't getting the results I wanted. I wasn't getting those connections that I wanted. I was therefore getting attracted to all the wrong things, and therefore the next shiny object, which I was being told online was the right thing to follow, and that couldn't have been the wrong. You know, couldn't be more wrong to do that. You know, in that way. You know.
And you have to like buy 60 billion likes. And you have to, you know, and you've got to do a webinar, you've got to do this, you've got to do it. And all of those things are, it's focusing you on the wrong thing, right? It's focusing on the wrong thing, isn't it? Because you're like obsessed with these stats that you don't know what they mean, and you're getting frustrated. Perhaps you don't get that audience, and you haven't got the list, and you haven't got the likes and all of that. But actually, I think what is the most important thing is, and it's kind of what we're about, I guess, it is about attracting the right people to you, and making that connection and building your audience so that those people can come in and connect with you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And anything else you want to say about that marketing stuff? I know you've got like a few swipes on that.
Yeah, it's about we all only when we do get overwhelmed. Oh, that's exactly it. All that does is getting attracted and being involved in so many different things. You know, whether it's going to be, you know, setting up this platform, having this platform to do this. You need this software to do that. All that overwhelm, all that is going to do is make it slow and make your journey to your actual destination a lot longer, and you'll be confused and overwhelmed.
And can you think of like specific examples, Chrissa? I mean, I know we but like specific examples where you were like working on your business and like, you know, what were you buying? What were you investing in? What was happening? Just to, you know, I mean, ultimately building an audience is about being connected with a bunch of people which know, like, and trust you, and you can add value to that audience, and you can offer them stuff, right? Services that they want. And that's ultimately what the end game is. So can you talk about some examples of things that you did that?
Well, for me, and as you know, Laura, for me, it was, I thought I needed to buy program after program after program after program, and then getting stuck in a million videos, a gazillion PDF downloads, and never, ever actually working on developing the connection that I needed to grow my audience.
And what sort of stuff were you buying? I guess that's where I'm getting at, just because I think maybe people watching this will like, I kind of got through that. I went through that.
I wasn't buying the advice or the system. I was buying course after course after course that was promising me that if I did, you know, watched all these videos, downloaded all their stuff, all it was
but
going
like
to
what,
just
like what courses on what? I get it, but like just because I think there's people watching this who are going to be like, that's exactly what I bought. That's exactly what I invested in. You know, I could reel off some, but I just again I think your story is more accurate than mine.
Well, I thought I was getting done a lot of my things. I thought I was paying a lot of money for done for you services, you know, that do everything for me so that I didn't have to do the work, because I didn't understand it to begin with. So, and that wasn't what happened. And that wasn't what happened.
Yeah. So it's like done for you services that are here they are done for you, but not done for you to build your list and your your business ultimately.
Your business, yeah. And so for something that I was promised would be a 3-month process, ended up being nearly a 3-year process in the same. And then when I was becoming overwhelmed, and the worst thing was, Laura, is I thought I was the problem. And because I thought I was the problem, I kept quiet and was buying, and I was up leveling to the next course and the next course and the next course, because I wasn't solving the first course. You know, I wasn't getting the result that I was promised back then. I thought I was dumb. I was lying to my family. It was just, it was too much.
It makes me feel sick. It literally makes me feel sick. But what you think, and I guess this is where I'm trying to get to, is you're investing in courses and trainings about business. I always say webinars, because it's funny, we just got on a call with a client who's like, I want an evergreen webinar. I want to, which is cool, because that's what people think they need. But actually but what you don't know is actually how
that was me also,
depth,
Laura.
In depth that is to get to a converting webinar, right?
The evergreen web, the apps and all that stuff. I was getting brought into all these different things that I thought that I needed to make me feel like, oh my God, I'm this professional online. And still, I was actually worse off than where I was when I first started, where I had a more clear mind.
And more poor. And poorer, I think, is the word grammatically. So the issue with those things is that they're not teaching the principles behind what it is you're doing. They're just like, you need clients, do this, you need this, do that, And when it comes to kind of offers and audiences, and what we started, and the reason I started with the levels of value is you're going to get paid more, you're going to earn more, you're going to build more wealth, you're going to grow your business by communicating and coming up with ideas and solutions, right? That's a done thing, an accepted thing. So if you can communicate and imagine, which I love, then you need to know what you have to communicate and imagine about, right? So what those courses, they're kind of like, they're tactics. They're tactics.
Exactly. They were tactics for me to actually feel overwhelmed and then buy even more tactics to make me feel better about it. But there were no principles involved. If I had known the principles from the beginning, it would have been very different.
Well, you would make different decisions. I can't say that word very well. Decisions. You make different decisions, right? And the principles that what we're talking about is you need offers, right? You need an offer. I mean, if you talk to us, you need a high ticket offer, but this isn't about high ticket offers. And you need an audience to match up that offer to. And the thing about building the audience is that the principle of it is you need connection. If you're connected with your audience, then they want to find, they're attracted to you. They want to find out more about you. They want to invest in your programs, in whatever you've got, but you've got to make that connection as well. And the thing with all the, we're going to marketing bro tactics stuff, is a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs find that they're following a sequence, not really knowing what they're doing, and they're losing the connection because it's not really them, right? It's not really them. So I guess where we're heading with random thoughts, random acts, but it isn't random, is the way you build an audience is by getting a connection with you connect people to it. So You want to build an audience so that you can give value, obviously, give value and connect and create community.
Yeah.
And you want to create an audience of buyers, right? You want to be able to sell your offers to them so that you have a business, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And actually, if you build I would rather have 200 people who are connected to me and bought into what I was saying, rather than the 10,000 people on my list of, just strangers.
Exactly. I love that, Laura, and I like to summarize that, because basically, I'd like to know, anybody watching the replay, like, why do you think this is so important? So what we're trying to say, what Laura is actually telling us here, is that the core of building a thriving audience basically lies in how you communicate with the people that you attract. But what's happening in the marketing world, it's riddled with like this tactical overwhelm, just like how I'm sucked into doing this, and many other coaches do that. And that's the slow way. We're bombarded all the time with what to do, why to do it, but what the goal, and that's when the goal often gets lost and the foundational aren't really there to connect with our growth. So I just wanted to reiterate that.
It's about connection. It's about connection. And so how do you, so the question, what everyone should know about growing their audience, I was thinking, what is the answer? That is the answer, right? The answer is connection. Growing an audience to connected people is the answer. You can have about people in your audience, and if you've got 50 of them, that's awesome, right? You don't need 10 million.
No.
But it's the connection. And when you see all this stuff online and all this marketing tactical stuff, they're missing these principles, right? So what everyone should know about growing their audience, it's about connection and engagement, and also it's about you and how you project and who you attract. And if you sort of follow strategies that enable you to be yourself and connect in a way that is cool with you, then people are going to be attracted to that.
Absolutely. Well, having the principles is just going to cut through that noise of all those tactics online, and that's the bedrock of having a success in your business, is exactly that, successful communication.
So let's talk some strategy. I'm going to call them tactics now. Let's talk some strategy. So we've got the principle. The principles are: you need an engaged audience that are attracted to you, know, like, and then you can present your offers to them, because you want to give them huge amounts of value, and there's lots of reasons why you can do that in high ticket offers, which we'll talk about in another thing. And the key is connection. What everyone should know is that it's about connection more than it's about size. Size doesn't matter here.
And really stress that.
You got my joke late then. She's got my joke late.
That's wicked.
So size doesn't really matter as much. Size matters, but not as much as connection. So the question then is, so how do you build an audience? How do you do it? What do you do? I mean, there are 1,000 different ways, but I think one of the things, I always think of it as levels, and you can jump around the levels and not a sequential thing. You can do everything all at the same time, but it's as long as you follow the principles of it, which are being yourself, I think you've got to be vulnerable. There's a whole story about being vulnerable, but people want to see they want to see you. They want to connect with you. They want to hear your pain. And I tell a story about I've done a lot of presenting for years and years and years and years. I was very good. I knew exactly how to do it. That was before it was all online. And it was good, but I kind of hit a block, and I started like going, oh, I feel really awkward anyway. long story short, I went to my mentor, who I had at the time, who is still a mentor of mine actually. And he said to me, I was like, how do I get better as a speaker? And getting better as a speaker, really, although that was the context there, in this context, it's about how do I make better connection, right? How do I connect better with the audience that I'm interacting with? I was like, how do I do that? You're really good at that. How do I do that? And he said one thing to me. I nearly punched him in the face at the time, but he said he said something I didn't want to hear. And that was, you've got to show your vulnerability.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're all human. We're all human.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
You want me to show vulnerability? I'm just like, not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. I was like, shut up, get lost, walked. I didn't say get lost. I was just like, thank you. Not going to do what you tell me. Went away. And, you know, when someone tells you something and it sits in your brain, percolating. And I was just like, that is so annoying that he's right. It is so annoying that he always likes to be right, and I don't like to tell him that he's right. And B, I don't want to be vulnerable. I'm like, you know,
shield
down,
shield.
For lots of reasons. I had a shield up, like lots. We all do it, right? For various reasons in our life. So I'm kind of like went off, thought about it, came back. I was like, oh, he's right, annoyingly. So it was quite a pivotal moment actually in how I do business, how I connect with people, how I speak on stage. And I started doing it. I started opening up. I started talking about personal stories. I started telling people what I really thought and felt. It was so foreign to me. I hated it at first, if I'm honest. I was just like, this is so awkward. It's
and uncomfortable.
So not me. I'm such a private person that I don't want to share this. After a while, what happened was I was like, oh my God, I've just realized this is how you connect with people. Do you know why I knew that? Because I was speaking to a room full of people, right? I was speaking to a room full of people. You can read it. It's like the best feedback you're ever going to get is speaking to a room full of, because you can read what they think. And the difference when I start, and people would come up to me afterwards and go, oh my God, you told that story. That's so connected, like this. And I'd be like, I'm literally showing my dirty washing in public here of all my trial and tribulations in life and mess ups and failures and things I shouldn't have done and all of that stuff. And that's what people connected with, right? That's what people connect with. They connect with the real you, the vulnerable you, and in personal and in business.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about building an audience, you've got to be like thinking about that. Yes, you've got to be thinking about your offers, but layering that in as well. How do you show the real you, show the vulnerability? And that's kind of like, I know we sort of went off on a tangent, but actually, so how do you build an audience? Well, the first thing you can do is you can create videos, for instance, or write blogs or things like that, showing the real you, showing the vulnerable bits of you, not the, I'm really perfect at making high ticket offers. And if you know, there is that side of it, but there's also the real side of you too, when you feel like, oh, I couldn't, you know, I got up today and I was just like, whatever. So writing, creating, and again, the world of AI, right? The world of AI is about let AI do the content creation. Well, AI can do some of it for sure. But you've got to put the real you in as well. So that's how you connect, how you build those audiences by you know, whether it's videos, whether it's audios, whether it's whatever it is. I was going to reel off all the social media and I went blank then. But
at the end of the day, just communicating your authenticity, and that's going to bring people to like-minded people to you.
100%. And even when you're, you know, you can build audience through emails, through your list. other people's lists,
referrals
you can build, you know, people refer, and people like referring you when you're real.
Yeah.
And there's connection. It comes back to that connection.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing better. So, Laura, there's nothing better that you've served someone so well, and them referring you and them referring you to somebody else because they have had that transformation, and that is so real.
And it makes them feel good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And then the sort of next level up, and again, you don't have to go in sequence. You can do all of this at the same time. Is looking for partners, JV partners,
guest speakers.
And I know this is something we do a lot at the moment. We do JV partners. We look for guest speakers, JV partners, because it helps us connect with a wider number of, you know, people. Now, are we going to connect with everybody in other people's, you know, through a partnership? No, some people are going to maybe be repelled from what we do, but some people are going to be attracted to what we do too.
Yeah.
And even when you're in the conversations with the JV partners, you know, potential partners, you can again, it's about connection. It's about being vulnerable, getting on a call with them, telling them what you think and how you feel about things.
And that's
maybe
important.
They don't like it.
Yeah, and that's what's really important too, because having an impactful communication in the online environment, when you do it in a way that feels right to you, do it, and your authenticity is only naturally going to shine through, and that's going to resonate with the audience.
Yeah. And then you can do things like Facebook groups and events and all that. And again, you don't have to do it in any which way, but it's about having that authenticity. And I know that, in fact, just before we came onto this live, someone introduced themselves in the Facebook. I love it when people introduce themselves, right? I'm desperate to find out about every one of you. I'm just, and not because I want to sell it. You know, it's not like I need to connect and sell. That's not what it's about. It's about connection. I want to. As soon as somebody like introduces themselves, I'm like, oh, I really want to find out about them. And you know, it's that connection thing again. So I think we've kind of like talked about principles today. We're very grown up. We've talked about principles.
Yeah, but I've grown up since then, since back when I was doing the slow coach way.
The slow coach. We talked about the principles of operating at those levels of value 3 and 4. You know, communication, imagination, and how building an audience is really about connection, and then connecting with people in a way that you feel cool about. For some people, that is Facebook groups. For some people, that's, you know, guest speaker, JV partners. Maybe it's just doing some janky, like we say janky stuff, which means that, you know, good is good enough. Just put it out there. People will connect with you when it's real. People will connect with you.
Exactly. That is so important. And it's about finding your voice, sharing your story, building relationships. And when you do that in such an authentic way, it's going to be genuine and it will last. And people will connect with you when you do it like this. I remember,
and ultimately,
sorry, Laura.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, ultimately, what you're doing is you're building an audience of connected people that are going to do business with in some way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not just fun, it is fun. So that's cool, because we're not in the corporate world. It's fun, but we're building of like-minded people we can connect to and do business with in some way. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's all I've got for today.
That's awesome. You know, it's funny, before we got on this call and we're talking about the principles and thinking about what it was that we're going to say, I love how there was one moment you actually referred it to the way when coming from a slow coach point of view, it's like we were dealing with the enemy on the outside, all this stuff, or, you know, all this stuff, tactics, the way that we should be doing it. And in doing it that way, you lose yourself in the process, and sometimes it can make you really ill. And I felt that, you know, like it was making me really ill. I'd stay up late at night to make it look like I was working when really I wasn't connecting with anyone because I didn't know what I was connecting to, and it was quite hard. It was really, and thankfully we've got the system and everything has changed now.
Yeah.
But but finding that authenticity and being able to really connect with that and learning to do your way, communication, and obviously the level obviously above that, but being able to communicate that will resonate with your audience, and that will bring them through because they'll connect with your authenticity.
And I think, without not wanting to leave this live on a woo-woo thing,
Yes.
but being woo-woo in a suit, that attraction, people are attracted to that. People connect and attract to that. And I think it's just a great way of doing business. It's a great way of doing business with people. It's a great way of connecting people. All the people in your world, they get attracted to you as soon as you open up. And absolutely. I didn't want to hear that those 10 years ago, or whatever, it was a long time ago. Yeah. But thank goodness I was told that then, that when you do open up, when you connect with people, when you you build audiences, that that is what people are attracted to.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome.
So anybody watching this on the replay, #replay, and tell us, down below in the comments, what is it and how did this resonate with you? What did you get out of this?
We've totally forgotten about the comments. Yes. Type anything. Type in the comments where you are, what your experiences are, what you're attracted to, and any way we can help you, any questions that you've got, and we'll catch up with you really soon.
Absolutely.